There's just not enough time in the day, boys.
Never is.
Okay, so Gab, do you want to start us off this episode with why and what we are about to watch?
Yes, I will get us started. So, as you both know, I'm not just a giant anime head, but primarily I'm a giant Cowboy Bebop head. It's probably my favorite anime of all time.
Mm-hmm.
I think we briefly have touched on it on the pod before. Netflix announced a while back that they were going to do a live action adaptation of Cowboy Bebop.
Right.
And it's been a little mum since that announcement. Of course, there was COVID. One of the actors, the one who's playing Spike, who's the protagonist, got injured on set, so they had to delay production for a little bit. But we finally, today or yesterday, they dropped what, it's a little vague. It's supposed to be a teaser. Are we interrupting you, Ramel?
There was a shirt sticking out, and it was bothering me.
Oh, okay.
Anyway,
Fair.
Netflix dropped a teaser trailer for the show. However, it's not clear if this is it. We know for a fact it's not footage from the series. It's more of just like a little mini skit thing. But I don't know if that's like to express what the tone of the show is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
I have seen snippets before in some imagery when they did this thing for the theme song.
Okay.
That to me it looked very Speed Racer.
Ugh.
And that is not what I interpret as the tone of the Cowboy Bebop anime. The anime is a, I would say, like a noir western in space.
Okay.
Like that's more like there's that.
That's interesting.
It has the original, one of the most amazing jazz soundtracks ever. Like all original music for the anime show. The feel of the show has some of those like elements of like kind of those like silent stare downs and the face off moments, the blue, like kind of like that melancholy blues feel. So I think we should just watch it. Let's just watch it.
I'm gonna just tell you how it looks straight up.
Yeah, exactly.
Great, because I know both of you don't know anything about this anime,
Nothing.
so I'm very curious to see what your vibe and feel is from the trailer, and then I will fill in gaps about the truth of this beautiful work of art. But for the most part, I know if you see me sipping this, it means I'm not happy, and I'm probably not locked in.
Okay.
Wow. Okay,
so let's start this now. This is the Cowboy Bebop official teaser Lost session. Click.
Hey, there's a new bounty on the line.
Worth the trouble?
You want to keep the lights on around here?
Where did we find this dipstick?
We'll handle this one.
On our own.
Not a chance.
Not that way. Bang!
Is this like a...
I got him.
That's not the bounty.
I got him.
That's not the bounty either.
Are these angles and shots just for the trailer, or is it all like this?
Spike!
What?
We're on a job.
I like the way it's shot. Like it's
Noodles
if that's how the show's gonna be, it's kind of sick.
Hello, Spike. I'm coming for you.
We gotta go.
The bounty's this way.
Oh, that guy.
Hey!
I like these transitions a lot.
I mean, it does kind of.
Hey, Spike! A little help?
This is kind of creative.
You're dead, Cowboy.
Yeah, if the show is like this in any way, it's gonna be pretty sweet to watch.
From an aesthetic standpoint, it kind of gives me like 70s Guardians of the Galaxy
Right.
vibe.
Yeah.
Dad! Hey, nut buckets! There's no payout if you shoot him in the face.
That was him.
Please.
I got him with 3 clean slugs in the leg.
I never miss, and I aim for his leg.
Never miss?
Never.
You aim for the face.
I did not. You
Is it
clearly
supposed to be a comedy?
Face.
Gives me like a comedy vibe.
It's very interesting. It's okay. There's the space part of it. Got it.
Okay, yeah, there's that.
It's very like for me. It's very like Tarantino.
Yeah, it does have a
Sin
Tarantino
City.
vibe. Yes.
Sin City with some comedy in there.
Right. Okay.
That's not what I expected whatsoever. That's a pleasant
off the
surprise
bat,
for me.
Not sure.
Gab's not into it. Gab's pouring himself a spot right now. He's not into it.
Sorry, I thought I heard something.
I
play
thought you
in
were
the
about
background.
to. I thought you were about to pour some tea and tell us.
I poured me some. But I would love to hear your thoughts, your feelings of what you saw.
As someone who doesn't know anything about this, that looks like a show that I would enjoy. That if it's shot like that, that'd be something I'd be into.
So I don't like
Something I'd be interested in.
It looks interesting enough to me. I could give the first episode a shot.
Yeah, I think I'd give it a shot. Absolutely.
I don't like you said, Figo. It does have a little bit of a Tarantino-esque kind of vibe, with less of like the grotesque, bloody,
Right.
murder. But there's something about it, and I can't exactly pinpoint what it is. That's turning me off, and I don't know. I like it. The transitions were creative in that little clip. The colors weren't bad. Like the overall look wasn't terrible.
Okay.
I don't know if it was like almost not believable. I don't know. Because like I've only seen stills of the cartoon.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And the stills of the
Yeah.
cartoon that I've seen look a lot darker than this.
Right.
So I feel like this is almost like it could be too kiddie compared to what the cartoon is. But then again, obviously I've never seen the cartoon, so I can't compare it to anything. So this would be just like me seeing a random show. But there's just something about it that feels off. But again, but like on paper, from seeing the trailer, it looks like all the pretty good things that I would like in a show. But there's just something. There's just something that I can't really put my finger on.
I mean, look, you're right about the anime in terms of like the texture of that animation and the story and how it's executed and the overall messages that are involved with that story. If you had to say what is Cowboy Bebop underneath the Western space noir thing, the theme is letting go of the past.
Right.
That's what these three characters are dealing with in their own unique way, and you'll explore that as you see the show. This trailer looks like a lot of fun. This looks like a really fun time of a show. And not that Cowboy Bebop isn't. There's a lot of there is silliness, there is fun, there is excitement. Of course there's some funny moments in it, but I'm curious to see how are they gonna incorporate that melancholy How are they going to incorporate that sorrow of these characters dealing with their pasts and their inability to make peace with it? Because the show is only 26 episodes. It is a 26 episode in and out. It's one of the only animes created that is not based off of a manga. It is originally just an anime. It's like not even cartoon. Like it's a show. It is a show, and it is an amazing 26 episode show. There is a character that I see that is not involved with this, and once we review the show, once it comes out next month, I'll dive into a little bit more about that, because I think the absence of this main character of the Bebop crew plays such a critical, a subtle yet critical role for the conclusion of this story, that to not have Ed in there, that's the name of the character, that already worried me. And I understand it's an adaptation. You got to take your creative liberties with it. But I am also concerned that when it comes to anime adaptations, we'll know once this drops, but my worry is that we take anime as so just like for granted, in a way, not serious or not worthy of taking on as like a serious toned thing, because of what it's born, the medium that it's born from.
Like it's cartoons,
so that
it's like,
you gotta have a little goofy, and it's because I don't think like there's like a lack of courage to just go all in.
Like they could have made this
and take it seriously.
They could have made this like a serious type, cop detective crime show, whatever the hell,
bounty hunter
Then they didn't. They went with like a corny, like comedic
kapow kind of
like almost
70s.
Yeah. So I guess that would piss me off
so
if I was like a fan of the cartoon.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not pissed yet. Because again, they're like, this isn't series footage. But then again, why would you release a teaser of something that is completely separate from the tone of what you created? I would assume that this is in line with tonally what they're going for. And fuck, because the show is so well blended in its drama, in its character depth, yes, in its comedy. But there's even like disturbing shit in this anime. Like there's some moments where it's like, oh damn. And so I'm like, if this is I don't know if this tone will be able to blanket all of the different things that Cowboy Bebop does.
Okay.
But the fact that both of your reaction, Fico, primarily the fact that your reaction was this was something that you could get on board for, that you really appreciated the creative, Ramelto, that you appreciated the creative use of the angles and stuff and the color and the visuals, that as a fan of the IP, I'm rooting for it regardless, because I want people to embrace these characters in this story. So even if you watch this, maybe people will go, well, let me see what the anime is like. And that's my real goal. I would love it if people watch that anime, because if there's a millennial story that was written for us before we knew what our destiny was as millennials, it's Cowboy Bebop. I promise you. What? Please, I'm praying for like a blizzard that like locks you both in for like 3 days, and you have no choice but to watch all 26 episodes of Cowboy Bebop. It's my absolute favorite anime of all time. I just fucking love it. I would get more shit for Cowboy Bebop, but I have enough, as you can see, told some shit.
Right.
I hope.
Actually, I do have I'm the Dog.
I mean, I hope it. Yeah, I hope it does well. I hope because I've heard about Cowboy Bebop for so long, and also like back when I used to watch like Cartoon Network and shit. I feel like that was on back then, wasn't it?
Yes, that's where I originally. I
feel like I remember when was it the Cartoon Network, like it was Adult Swim.
Adult Swim, yeah.
It was on Adult Swim.
Was it an Adult Swim vehicle?
It was on. It was not on Toonami. I think it was on Adult Swim,
because Toonami was like Dragon Ball Z and Johnny Quest,
Sailor
fucking
Moon.
shit.
Oh shit.
Tenchi Muyo
Yeah,
was
I know
Toonami,
Cowboy
yeah.
Bebop was later, and they weren't going to play Cowboy Bebop without it being on the Adult Swim. So I'm
Adult
pretty sure it was like at the beginning of Adult Swim.
I think so, because I know that Toonami went off the air and then came back on the air
yeah.
later. So I think it might have been
maybe
there during that.
I
that
know it was
gap
on
time
at some
Adult
point
Swim.
when I was still watching that channel.
Yeah.
So
Because everyone recognizes that theme song. If you don't
No, I don't know
recognize
that
that
theme
theme
song
song,
at
I don't. Bitch, what?
But I know nothing about anime, so besides Dragon Ball Z shit.
That's
So,
true. That's true. That's me there.
That's also my like is that there's so much anime that I understand. There is anime that's directed towards children, but in the West, we haven't adapted animation as a serious means of storytelling. We have audiences don't perceive it as that yet.
I mean,
when
look, think about the fact that like if we had more shit like that first episode of that Star Wars fucking
Visions,
yeah,
This
with
shit's
like
crazy.
with the black and white cartoon one. I know Gabby bought the book. I saw it the other day. Yeah,
There it is.
like that was a sick 15-minute cartoon that like I would watch more episodes of that if that was like a real series.
If that was a thing,
Yeah.
So I think that's what they're. November 19th, in my opinion, can't come soon enough. We're officially less than a month away before the release of it. No one touched me. No one talked to me. No one called me. No one invite me to anything. I have to lock myself in this room and binge the entire thing, 7 a.m. until I'm done. And so we can either praise it on this pod or rip it to shreds.
All right, well,
Can't wait.
and we will, and
Can't
we
wait.
will. I will at least,
That
at the
is
very
something we're good
least,
at.
for the pod, I will at least try the first episode.
Yeah,
that's all I can promise.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay, moving on. We have some updating to. We got to discuss the latest and greatest in the shows that we're watching or have watched.
Yeah.
We have not caught up with.
I did not have.
We have not caught up with
Miss Lewinsky. I never told anybody.
It doesn't sound cool when you do that.
Never. These allegations are false. And
I don't even know if you
go
could
back to
honestly
work
make
to
a beat
American
with
people.
that.
Okay.
All that did right there is really show me how what's his face is playing a fucking awesome Bill Clinton.
yeah.
He is. I've said it on the pod before. I was not concerned, but was curious for his performance. If he would be able to do it without coming off as that comedic impression that so many
right.
on SNL and stuff have done.
Everybody's comedic impression on SNL. All that. I mean, how many times has Clinton been done on SNL? Just as much as Bush, and they're both just like that. There's always just a comedic.
They're
You got to be like that comedic.
They have a voice.
but he's done an
Clive
incredible job.
Clive did a good job there.
We've been blessed that every president really has been like a character.
Yeah.
Except Biden.
Biden's just old. He's just straight up old. But he
That's
is.
kinda sad.
But the thing is, like Biden is also like a character because, like, when he was with Obama as the vice president,
But that was the thing is with Obama,
his
he
shtick
had that,
was like that funny old guy, like
yeah,
you know,
like the
doing
memes
like
that would come out about
doing like funny
Yeah.
old guy shit. You know what I mean?
Actually, not to. We will be talking about him later, but the guy from Ted Lasso, he did. He did.
Oh
Biden,
yeah, he was Biden when Obama wasn't president back then.
Was presidency, and I remember for the VP debate one, the way that was probably. I think that was the funniest.
Jason
Biden,
Sudeikis, by the way, is his name.
Jason Sudeikis.
Good
God.
The Biden that Sudeikis did
awesome,
was
yeah,
I thought
it was
was
awesome.
hysterical because he just got that like the charming dude thing, but with the also kind of just like a little bit of like that blunt douchebaggery kind of thing. So he just did it really well.
So American Crime Story Impeachment.
Okay, Ramal, you're gonna hit me. Did you watch this week's episode?
I did.
Shit. Okay,
So I also watched it. So I'm in the boat with you.
I told Fico this, and so this is my bad. I thought I had seen 5, so I hit play on 6, and I was like, okay, so today I have to watch 6 and 7. I watched 6, and then just out of curiosity, I was like, did I see 5? And then I click 5, and then I just see the cum dress conversation, and I was like, I would have remembered this cum dress conversation. So I haven't seen 5. So I ended up watching 6, 5, haven't seen 7.
Oh,
but
wait a minute.
if
Hold
you
on,
guys
hold on.
want...
I have not seen 7. I have only seen up to 6.
Oh, okay.
Oh, then you and I on this. Fico's the only one that's seen
hold
7
on,
then.
because I don't even know that there is 7 episodes out.
There is.
There are 7. There is. There's 7 episodes out. See? Ramel made the same fucking mistake I did. Same fucking mistake.
I got an alert today from Apple. I guess Apple now tells you when you're watching shows.
They do, which I do like.
Great.
Yeah.
So I actually put it on just prior to recording. I had it on.
Oh, god damn it. It was,
and I tell you what,
when did it,
you're all going to enjoy this one.
when did it come out?
I think it dropped last night. I
Last
think the 18th.
night. Wait, hold on.
So there
Or
was there was
Monday?
episode
God
7.
damn it, you're right. It came out literally last night.
Yeah.
Fuck.
So
Okay.
So I saw 5 and 6.
what can you
but I
do?
haven't
All
seen
right.
7.
Well, we'll discuss 5 and 6 because we hadn't discussed it in a while. So we,
yeah, no, that's fine. And
so far-
now we're set up 7 and 8.
up until the season is going to end on what, episode 8? Is that the last episode? I think.
No,
I think it's going to go.
How many did they?
I think it's going to go
It's
for
going to go, right?
Yeah, because going from what I watched in 7, you need at least 2 more episodes to really get to
okay.
at least a crescendo.
Maybe it'll go 10, which is pretty average for shows
I would
like this.
hopefully be 10 or 12. I would think probably 10.
If OJ and Versace have the same episode count, then one can assume that this would be the same. But
Maybe,
I don't know. It would be great if we could actually ask our set researcher, fact checker.
Yeah, we don't have him. I think we had to fire his ass.
He gone. He gone.
He did nothing for us.
Okay, the assassination of Henry Versace, the crime American crime story. The episodes, it had 9 episodes.
Oh.
It was 9 episodes. People versus OJ was 10.
Okay, so we're going to be in that realm.
So we're going to be in that realm of
10.
It's 10.
10. Impeachment will go. Will go for 10
it will be
episodes.
10 episodes. Okay, so now we understand. Okay.
Okay. So yeah, we have 3 to
and
go.
6.
Makes sense. 3 hours.
So 5 and 6, main thing here is
Crustmas.
yeah, Christmas. It's Monica obviously has the dress. She discusses it with Linda. Linda starts taping her conversations with
this
Monica, which is pretty fucked up.
Yeah, I mean those 2 episodes really start painting Linda in such a poor light. Like, there's nothing. I said that. I believe it was at episode 4 that there was a little bit of sympathy or empathy for Linda, but at this point, that's out the window.
Yeah.
She's not a good person.
Yeah,
Not a good friend. Not a good anything.
And where there's a point in episode 6 where I think it's after she already gives her up to the cops.
I think I know what you're gonna say.
When she's in the mall.
Yeah, at the mall. And Linda gives her up to the FBI. And she acts, when she sees Monica, she acts like she feels bad.
Right.
But it's like, you don't.
You know.
And
But
again,
she keeps trying to
the thing is, she keeps saying it out loud that
she needs
needed to happen, that she was doing this to help Monica, that she was doing this to take down the president or whatever the fuck, that this is something that needed to happen, and all this bullshit.
Yeah, it's complete bullshit.
But
she's trying to tell herself
she's
that.
trying to tell herself that so that she doesn't, so that she feels better about herself, because she knows that what she did was a fucked up thing to do.
Yeah, the whole.
You know what? For the sake of our show, it's way more interesting if people disagree. So I'm going to play devil's
I knew you were
advocate
going to,
for us.
because this is just
Fair
what
enough.
you do.
That's
This
fair.
is just what the fuck you do.
I think it's just important that one of us plays devil advocate, and I will take a trip with Linda.
Jesus Christ.
Anyway, so the thing with Linda is
Laugh track. Let's go.
Oh shit!
Oh,
it's perfect.
It's perfect.
I see Ramel integrated his soundboard back to the pod.
Can't wait for those lasers to go off soon.
Oh, fuck those lasers. I thought we left them back in episode 50 something.
Go ahead, Gab. What bullshit ass excuse do you have for Linda taping, illegally taping conversations with a young, obviously dumb and naive woman? But come on, man, can't do this shit.
Okay. All right. No, was it wrong? 100%. I will say, as my camera still sucks. There we go. It was 100% wrong for her to do that. She's a 40-something-year-old woman. This is a 24-year-old girl. Get a life, get banged, go do something, take up a hobby, take a class.
Seriously, man, fucking get laid.
Do something. But I will say, again, this is not my excuse for her or like supporting her, but just my like trying to understand the mind here. She worships the White House.
Okay.
She thinks it's literally the church. Like, I will never forget episode 1, just her first walking into the office and like going to her desk. You could tell just by her performance, like she is portraying this character as someone who literally thinks that she is on a mountain, on Olympus, high and mighty. Like, this is the most sacred place in the land. To be thrown out of the White House as someone who respected it so much and worshipped it. And there was even that moment in one of these 2 episodes when she's talking to the federal guys, and she tells him how when Bush was in the office, how he hand wrote letters to people for who served. Yes. And when Reagan was in office, he never went into that office without a full suit and tie. So there, you see that admiration that she has for it. But Clinton, the first thing that he does is get his dick sucked in the Oval Office.
I thought that was actually a really, really good piece of dialogue. Yeah. I actually really enjoyed that sequence.
Yes. So from that angle, you can see that she really does worship and admire that place and like the sanctity of what it means to be there. Mm-hmm. Who she completely sees Bill Clinton as a dirtbag who just was getting his knob slobbed like from anyone he could grab in there. And from all angles and perspectives, that seems to be true. Bill Clinton was a pig. So I think for her, it came to, do I want to get back at this guy who has disrespected that office and who basically no one in that office stood up for me to stay, and I got sent off to like the wasteland. And it will cost me this friendship with this 24-year-old girl. So she made her choice in those 2 things because she thought that this was the way to get rid of Clinton and for better leadership to go in the White House. That is not me saying that I think what she did for Monica Lewinsky was correct. She knows it was fucked up. She knows that was not right.
And her motives were not from the jump to get at to knock off the president.
No, it was to be important. It was to have attention,
and that's where I like. That's my main thing. It's watching this from the jump, like. At the very end, selling Monica out to the FBI, like doing the wire thing and all that shit, like, yes, that was fucked up. But at that point, she had already made her decision to do what she had to do to try to fuck up the president. She saw that she actually had a chance. Regardless.
Yeah. I have a question though, because this part was still a little confusing to me with the Monica Lewinsky trajectory and the case of what's her face, Paula?
Yeah,
Paula Jones.
Paula Jones, yeah.
And the Paula Jones case. The reason why Monica Lewinsky got served and subpoenaed, was that specifically because of what Linda said?
Yeah.
Because
Linda
Linda
basically-
literally said, I know somebody who's actively
Someone.
in
Right.
an affair with the president.
And
that's why
right. And
he-
what
she
she
got
wanted,
subpoenaed.
and what she wanted was just for her to get subpoenaed so she could go out there and she could tell the story.
Correct.
But as soon as she said that, oh, I know of someone, this and that, and they got it out of her, it basically washed away her clout. It's like, well, you're cool. You know somebody. But we're gonna go right to the fucking source,
Correct.
And we want that person.
When
And
they, when
again-
she
again,
saw
now-
when she saw that that like at that point, even at that point, when she had already spilled the beans, they were like, well, fuck it, we don't need you. We're just gonna go directly to the source. So we're gonna literally go and have her take the stand, Monica. Then like, what's the point of having you here? Because if we're just gonna have the girl
Like-
who's cheating on him, you know what I mean? So then at that point, then Linda can come in and be like, all right, let me still be important and fucking wiretap.
What else can I do
shit.
for you? I'll wear a wire. I'll do this. I'll do that. And that's, I think, where she started spinning it against Clinton.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
think that's where she's like, well, I want to take Clinton down. He's a bad man.
Man, she like every motive.
She just wants her name in lights.
Yes.
I lose the debate. You win. You're absolutely
every
correct. Sorry.
period, at every junction of this relationship and this like thing that was going on, every time that it came to make a decision, Linda made a decision for herself to be important and to have clout. And then until the end, when at the very end, she kind of realized, well, I actually have the power now to take down the president. And even then, that's thinking, I have the power to take down the president.
No, you're a little close.
And you're gonna see a little bit more of that angle in episode 7, where she basically, without giving away too much, she's basically like martyring herself, being like, I'm a hero. I'm going to take down, and it's no longer you're going to take down the president because he's a scumbag. Right. That's noble. But that's not what you're going for. Yeah. You want to be known as the person who took down the president, not because what he did was terrible, just because so your name could be in lights. Right. And it's just a tough character.
On her way to taking down the president, she shoots Monica with a bullet.
Yeah, she shoots her girl
with a stray bullet.
And like Monica even tells her.
So Monica is only really brought into this to serve as support for the Paula Jones case.
And then it kind of takes off a little bit more because this is like hard truth now, where there's a lot more evidence of Clinton and Monica than there was with Clinton and Paula Jones from what we're seeing in the show. And so I feel like Paula kind of gets, and I don't know how, again, I don't remember how this played out because I was fucking 5-6 years old. Right. It seems like Paula's story is kind of starting to get pushed out a little bit. And Monica's that's what's gonna take over the limelight. And that's what's gonna take over the press.
From my understanding, what's happening here is Paula Jones thinks. So there's already a group of people I'm assuming they're Republicans or whatever they are, that want to take Clinton down for the Watergate shit. There's even a scene in episode, I think 6, where there's the lawyers and that judge are getting together to discuss the evidence and shit that they have for the Watergate for impeachment for that, but they don't have enough, and that one judge is saying we need concrete evidence. We need concrete things. So what happens here is the Paula Jones starts to happen, which just adds to the sketchiness of Clinton, but isn't really enough to do anything damaging until it starts to snowball into, okay, this guy has done this multiple times. So now we're looking at a guy that's a little more than sketchy.
Right.
And then you've got that last big snowball that joins that adds in, which is the icing on the cake, and that he's actively in an affair and is covering it up by getting her hired in another city to shut her up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And at that point, that information is like this guy's a liar. This guy has lied, and he's all this shit.
But
So, and he's willing
committing
to do
perjury
whatever
and
it takes to
everything,
commit perjury, like to do whatever it takes to cover something up. So that's where they're getting that. They're using that information as like
So the strategy is, and the reason why there's that urgency in episode 6 is because they need Monica to basically catch him in the lie, so that when Clinton testifies and lies, they can catch him in it.
Correct. Because then at
That's
that
what
point
they
he would
wanna
be
do.
lying under oath, and then he can get impeached.
Committing a crime.
Yes.
And then he can get, gotcha.
So the whole thing is just this one big, quick, like they need to get this act fast, get this all squared away, so that way, under oath, like they can get him. Hey, did you sleep with this chick? Did you lie?
He'll say
Are
no.
you lying?
Yeah,
like you know what I mean.
Right.
Did
and
you?
At that point, it's not even
did you
Yeah,
actually actively get whoever that guy's name is to give her a job to shut her up? Like he'd have to say yes,
exactly,
or if he says no, that's a lie.
But there's that scene in episode 6 when they're just real quick, when they're listening to the tapes, that one guy says like there's nothing here. There's no comment about her getting the job be connected to that.
Because that's not on the tape itself. That's in the conversation that that they have that Linda's taped up, because Linda legitimately says to her,
that's how that's how they
get
that
it, right.
inner. Oh, okay.
So no,
yeah,
it's just like at this point though.
Crazy.
Also, it's not even mattering that what the president did was scumbag shit. Like it doesn't even matter that he took advantage of a young co-ed. It doesn't matter that he revealed himself to a girl in a hotel room. They just want to get him for lying.
Yeah,
they just want to get this dude out of office.
That's
like,
sick too. That's what's also pretty
yeah,
sick.
because it doesn't even again. That's like they're just using these stories and these women as a jumping board or a jumping off point to just get him out.
They don't really give a shit about
all this,
how the girls feel.
Yeah.
It's just
no, they don't. There's not going to be justice for those girls. Like they're not.
Even Paula Jones' husband doesn't give a shit about her.
Right.
Everyone
he wants a gig.
He wants a gig. He wants to be famous, so he can fuck other women.
To be honest, Linda Tripp, like we said at the end, she acts like this is helping Monica, all this bullshit, but in reality, it's not. It's to empower her. She looks like the martyr, the hero. And it's to take down the president, because obviously she loves the president and the White House and all of its glory.
Yeah,
but like again, that has nothing to do with the females that are being like, you know what I mean? They're
assaulted or harassed.
Harassed. Like that's just
the thing. The thing with the Trip is like you'll see it kind of start playing out a little bit. It is one of the biggest backfires ever, because not only does she get. Like she screws Monica up, and now the whole country is calling Monica Lewinsky like a slut and a whore, a psychopath, a stalker. Mm-hmm. So you this person that you apparently at some point cared about enough as a friend, right. You just sandbagged the shit out of her. So now she's like public enemy number one. But now her herself is getting fucking just taking bullets in on TV and in the press.
I can imagine.
Like I think one of the FBI guys are walking away from the house. Was like, thank God that woman has tapes, because a jury would hate that woman. And then like you got John Goodman playing her on SNL, and it's like she wanted to be this hero. She ended up fucking just coming off as I don't want to say a joke, but like but like the butt end of this whole thing.
And that's as I don't know her real intentions. I don't know. Obviously, I didn't know her, and I you know, what I mean, like, it's hard to say. But that's the kind of things that, like, it's like kind of karma. Like,
I did see an interview with the real Linda Tripp. I just found one because I wanted to kind of get a vibe off of her and how she like expressed herself into her logic and reasoning for this. Very similarly to the show, obviously, it's edited and performed to a specific way to follow the narrative of the series, but overall it's the same thing. It's just her saying like, I was doing I only cared about her. I wanted what was best for her, and this wasn't fair to her, and yada yada yada. But I'm like, but you're right. If that was the case, like you talk to your friend privately, you don't do all of these things you did to basically sell her down, like to ruin her life. And she would, and like at least in the series perspective, she was told multiple times what it would do to Monica, and she said like, do it anyway. I think both of you are onto a really good overarching message of the show and how women are treated in society, and especially I guess with the women in our society in the 90s in this specific time. And you have Paula Jones, you have Linda Tripp, you have Monica Lewinsky, and I still haven't yet seen the brilliant, God bless her, Edie Falco's performance.
That's another thing I was gonna say. I'm 6 episodes in, and I have not gotten any Edie Falco.
She's becoming a player now in 7. So I think from 7 until the finale, you get Falco in there.
I will forgive it if you give me 4 good episodes of Falco. I need Edie Falco. I need Carmela Soprano in this. I need her to like put on her beige fucking best Hillary scarf and start doing some shit, because this is the closest we will ever get to what the actual conversations were like between Hillary and Bill when all this shit was exploding. And I know that we're all curious for that.
I hope that I don't know enough about the production of the show to know if like they have like people on the inside that heard shit, that know shit. I doubt it, because the Clintons would probably kill him. Not a political podcast.
We are not a political
look, you know what? We're not a political podcast, but I will say about this show, and I'll see how they portray Hillary in the last 4, and it's not against her character, but I can see why older Americans did not want to vote for Hillary Clinton for president, just from these 6 episodes. And not even like about her, but just if it were just on the element of putting Bill Clinton back in the White House, I can completely understand being like, I don't want to do that. I'm not saying like, yay, Trump, we're not a political podcast.
Right.
But I can understand the hesitation and the really about that choice.
Yeah.
We were too, like Fico said, we were too young when this was all unfolding. But watching this now, and I'm like, they want it to be in the White House again?
After all this shit.
After all of this shit, they want it to be in the White House again. Like that, I can understand the fuck thattery.
Right. The fuck thattery is great.
The fuck thattery of that menu.
Agreed.
Right.
I mean,
so far though, great show.
Look, the show is awesome, and what's her name? That girl that plays Monica Lewinsky. I always forget her name. Bonnie, I think something.
Bonnie Feldstein, something like that. Right?
She's done a great job.
Definitely
she's done a great job of that, like innocent. I don't know what's happening, but like you also know what's happening. Like,
you're rooting, even though this is already like a told and true story. You're rooting for her when she was in that room with those. And also, you know what? That's something we got to talk about for episode 6. Focus like almost entirely in that hotel room. But imagine, take yourself back to your 24-year-old self, and you are literally ambushed by the the FBI, and you're now in a room, and everyone's like yelling at you because you fucked the president.
And they're not only that, you're going to jail for 28 years. Like, there's a lot that's playing into this.
If you don't cooperate and do what we say. And it's me, isn't it?
What?
Is it my Wi-Fi?
No.
Can you still see me?
I see you. I got you.
Okay, that scared me. I thought like my headphones went like very quiet, and I was like, I'm gone, aren't I? But how the camera work and how like they do such a good job of silently communicating to you. This is a 24-year-old girl in a room with all these men, and she's by herself, and they're like not, and they're trying to manipulate her to doing all this. It's awful.
It's awful.
And you start seeing it in the one scene where she's trying to call her mom in the other room, and she was like, and the guy was like, and she was like, "Why don't you want me to talk to a lawyer?" And he's like, "Whoa, I never said that.
Yeah.
You could do whatever you want." And at that point, I actually thought about it myself because I am no stranger to being detained by authorities. That I was like, just walk the fuck out.
Yeah.
Like, you don't actually need to be just leave. And it's like listen, they're threatening you with 28 years in jail. Get a fucking lawyer on the line. It doesn't matter who it is. They're gonna probably tell you the same thing. Like, get the fuck out of there. Like, if they want to grant you immunity and they want you, you could leave and they'll still give you that shit. You just gotta work a little bit for it. But like, she got ambushed. That was crazy. She spent that. The funny part is like them spending the day basically at the mall in the hotel.
I was cracking up because like the guy was like the two guys that were there were playing it totally different. The one guy was trying to like aggressively scare her into signing up with them, and the other guy was doing it the complete opposite way. Obviously,
Oh, but when they got the lawyer on the phone,
that was
and
great.
that decision to give you those zoom ins on the curse words, it's just like it's what you know. You're a lying piece of shit.
Yeah. Oh, shut up, you cocksucker! Oh God.
There's no need to use profanity.
It was so funny because like before he was
funny.
Like eating the burger before, like just like doesn't just like
fucking.
But it's great. I think as a lawyer, like when you find out exactly what's going on there, that's how you should talk to them. That's that's dirty bullshit. Like what?
Agreed.
And even as someone who's like not a legal expert, them saying like, "We promise you, we will give it to you in writing tomorrow." I'm like,
give me
eat my ass.
I don't give a shit if it's 1996, whatever the hell it is. You tell me you can't find a computer in the Ritz-Carlton or a typewriter, the word machine. Get the fuck out of here with that shit.
There were like points where I was like, all right,
write it in crayon.
There were points where I was like, all right, Monica, like when she's like running around trying to like find a phone to call Bill to warn him.
Yo,
I'm just like,
but on God, the days of calling cards.
What
were the days of calling cards? It must have been tricky as shit.
Calling cards.
She's got a call. She's got the card. Ooh, wow! Whatever.
I remember the calling card days. Yeah,
but calling cards were a big thing. Big thing. I do want to say, I want to give a little shout out to whoever plays Monica's mom in the series because she gave a really, really solid performance there in episode 6. The her crying outside the bathroom thing got to me a little bit. Because I almost actually thought, to be honest, I thought like, is she crying? There could be two ways of doing this because they kind of almost set it up like Monica was about to kill herself for a second. But like, so like I was thinking like, well, is she crying because like her daughter's in a really bad way and everything, or is she crying because thank God that she's alive because she's been in that shower for fucking an hour.
Right.
So that was really good. Or both, yeah.
And I think also like she's an older woman, like she has her years and maturity and experience. I think she knows exactly what her daughter's in for, and I think that's. As a parent, that has to be fucking horrible. And I mean, I'm sorry, all that, and I don't even. Oh man, we still have 4 episodes to go. I can't even imagine what it sinks into for Monica. But again,
especially since the next episode is called "The Assassination of Monica Lewinsky." Episode 7.
And you'll see why it's called that. It's
like you can only imagine that. Again, this point, is like Monica said when she got stopped by the FBI. It was like, my life is over.
Yeah,
and it's like
you'll see like what ends up happening here because like it really does like damn, like Linda Tripp really fucked some shit up for some people. Monica obviously being the number one person.
Am I gone now?
You've been locked in.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, man. Good show. Great show so far. Great first 6 episodes.
I need Edie Falco.
We need some Edie in our lives. But I'm excited to see what happens.
I
need to get myself an Edie Falco T-shirt for the finale.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
So next week, since it's the big 100th episode for us, and we are going to be focusing more on Halloween stuff next week, we will not discuss.
Hell yes.
Come watch. So we will do like a 7 and 8 review the following week.
No, that would be 7, 8, 9.
7, 8, 9.
We'll do a 7, 8, 9 review, and then one
last
and then
one
on the
for the
following week
finale,
we'll do
and then
for the
we'll-
finale
okay. Cool.
of Come Watch.
Okay, so let's move on to Ted motherfucking Lasso.
My boy.
So
I tell you what, man. Oh, he takes a sip of the tea? He didn't care for it? What an arousing finale.
Ted Lasso.
It was a great finale.
Ted Lasso finale.
I'm just gonna suck on the tea bag
Granted,
for that one.
it did.
Oh, God.
Jesus. We know it ended a little while ago, so we're not necessarily caught up with everybody else. But we did all finally watch it. The ending wasn't as good as the first season ending, but I thought it was still a good ending, and it definitely.
I like how it sets you up, man.
I'm definitely interested to see how the fuck they're gonna do this shit with Nate. I hate that motherfucker, man.
Yeah, man. What a fucking 180 for that character. And I think we had speculated that that's what Rupert was going to do when he gave the shares back. It wasn't out of the kindness of his heart because motherfucker had some other shit planned, and he just goes to Nate.
Now,
but the full heel turn by Nate,
that's
the full dark side heel turn. It was just
when you mentioned weeks past that it was sketchy how Robert was doing that, and that you were thinking, okay, maybe he's going to poach Nate. I thought that's actually a possibility, and then obviously as the show was going on, I thought, okay, this is actually really going to happen. He's going to take Nate. Nate's going to leave and then go coach somewhere else. I did not think that Nate was going to leave on these terms.
Was there a point in that last episode when Ted goes to talk to him? I think it was at halftime or some shit that you thought, okay, they're going to kind of have some words, but Nate's gonna figure it out. Ted's a good guy. And that didn't happen.
Yes, so here's
Nate doubled. So
here's
down.
what I thought was going to happen. I thought that Richmond was going to lose, and that what was going to happen was that Ted was going to change the tactic from the false nine to a tactic that didn't do what it needed to do, so that he could then take the fall for that move, so that it would relieve Nate of the possible fall if the false nine didn't work. Right. And I thought that is what was going to happen. They were going to have a good conversation, and then it was going to maybe end with like Rupert or Robert, whatever the fuck his name is, coming and talking to Nate after the game or something and saying, "I've got a job for you," or something like that.
Right.
Now,
there's a lot that happened there.
Like, the ripping of the believe sign, bro.
That was some shit. That's when you knew it was over.
Come on,
there was
man.
Nothing at that point.
You really gonna be that much of a fucking pussy ass bitch?
Nate was in his feels, man.
Come on, bro.
I don't know. Was it justified? I don't know.
Nate is a very hurt guy. He's very, very hurt.
I don't hate Nate. I think he's probably the most important character of the show.
Right now, I think you're right.
Because I think I really actually think his story arc might be the most important of the show. Because as I'm watching this finale, and I see that when Ted goes to the practice, there is no intention to confront Nate, but he says, "Let's do some." I think he said, like, "Let's jog, and then we'll do some of those things that Nate the Great was talking about, or something like that." So there is this moment where he makes this choice, knowing that Nate was the source, to still try to prop Nate up.
Right.
I think there is that instinct from him that I think Ted knows hurt people, and he doesn't know why Nate did what he did, but there's obviously something wrong. So he's trying to kind of boost up his friend, this person, rather than kind of start a fight about
shunning
it.
him or whatever. Yeah.
I think it's one of those moments that actually is, I think, a reason why a show like Ted Lasso is resonating so hard with audiences today. We are in a very skeptical society right now. We are in a very expect the worst, easy to offend, easy to attack, easy to judge. I think seeing Ted's reaction to Nate serves as an example of why this character is such a breath of fresh air on television, and kind of an example of what we hope we could be more like.
Okay.
While Nate, I think, is very representative of very real problems.
No.
Again, you're not going to like it, but issues with men and boys today. I think Nate very much is embodying that. You see it in when why am I forgetting names? Bearded Angry Man.
Roy Kent.
Roy Kent. That was offensive. I'm sorry, Roy Kent. When Roy Kent is expressing how angry he is about Jamie telling her that he still loves her, and then when he goes like, I have to confess something too, I kissed her, he's like, yeah, she told me, it's fine.
Yeah, you're good. Good kid.
That's emasculating.
Right. Yeah, it is. 100%.
Right. Yeah.
You perceive him as a threat, but it's just small little Nate. Like, I am so insignificant. I actually legit kissed her, and you're just totally fine with it. And I think from those insecurities of masculinity, this is just one example of it, but those micro kind of subtle things that happen in male day-to-day life, they do things. And I think you get those expressions of ultimately what Nate has become, which is someone who, I love how there's a bug in the middle of my feet. I look like a dirty troll. How you become more callous, more aggressive, more angry, more pent up in your emotions, more likely to burst.
Right.
I thought my heart broke. Did I cry? I almost cried. I didn't cry. But when he actually confronts Ted in the locker room, and how he wipes his tears, the actor who plays Nate, fuck you. Just there, that how I don't want to look weak, and there's such a smallness.
He did a very good job there.
Did a great job.
Such a phenomenal performance from him, and there's such a broken childness to how he did that. And I don't even think it's like in a pathetic way. I was just like, yeah, you said like you made me feel like I mattered, and then you like abandoned me. I didn't even see the abandonment. I want to almost rewatch the season because I'm like, what?
I was confused by that.
You too? Yeah, I was like,
I was very confused by that. Unless
the way I see it is that this is so when I saw that scene, my reaction was, okay, so he thinks that. So Nate is so broken that he gets this, he gets this attention from Ted. You know, Ted bigs him up, puts him, props him up. But the thing is, like, in life, people aren't gonna prop you up and then keep you propped up for forever. Life moves on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like you're gonna have the moments like someone's gonna prop you up, but then the next day they could just as easily, forget about they propped you up yesterday. It's not. There's no consistency with that. And someone that's broken like Nate, it doesn't understand that because he's never been propped up.
By his own father,
never props him up.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good
so
point.
When this guy props him up, now he's like, oh, okay, cool. So like when Ted goes back to being a normal human being, like not a dick to Nate, but just a normal person that's not, giving him the world's attention, then now Nate feels like he's being abandoned, but in reality, it's just Ted treating him like a normal person in those instances, not on an every single consistent day basis.
System, right.
But that's also that's what we do. We and you're like, I agree. And it's like, so what Nate is ultimately doing is, you saw that childishness of how he was when he was crying in the locker room, how he expressed, "You abandoned me." You're talking to your dad,
Right? Yeah. No, of course.
Right.
He's protected. So these are things, and I think that there's and Ted even is a character who is dorky, but there is so much emotion to him and compassion and empathy, which is not typical for it's not typical for male characters, but especially not if the context is a sports show.
Right.
Like, this is I think that's the genius of the show, is that how much heart there is in it within a subject matter that is usually of a Friday Night Lights kind of way of presenting.
Like, usually the coach is usually just like rugged, just like angry guy kind of
stoic. Yeah. And so I really I'm gonna say it. Nate's my favorite character. I said that Keeley was my favorite character in season 1, but for season 2,
I mean, from a storyline, from a quality television, from all those standpoints, yes, I would agree with you that at this point, at this junction in the show, the Nate character and the Nate storyline is the most intriguing, interesting.
It's most important,
because he's very good. His character does such a massive 180. It's not the same as Roy Kent being a prick and getting soft, because he was already soft. He just had a hard shell.
Right.
Like, that difference is not. That's not the same difference. This is a guy that just like. There's a lot of different levels and things that are going on with Nate that are interesting, and now I'm interested to see how they're gonna continue this, like how they're gonna move on from this, how they're gonna
where's it gonna go? I mean, you got me really sold. And there's supposed to be 4 seasons of this, I believe. Let's get that third one rushed out. Let's get that third one out so we can really see how this goes.
Wait, Fico, what do you mean 4 seasons? Like, that's like they programmed.
Well, no, I know that they were greenlit for a third already, and then they just, I believe, signed up Sudeikis for a 4th season. Right. So we're gonna see how long this goes.
Right. I don't think that.
I'm very intrigued.
I don't think that Apple is gonna probably run this to the ground. Like, they're not. I don't think that they're gonna run this 8, 9.
I don't know if you can.
But I think you can. I mean, depending. It really is gonna depend on how season 3 goes. But I enjoyed season 2. I thought it was really good. Had a ton of just as many feel good moments as the first season. Just as many laughs, if not maybe some more. I thought that you got a lot more from the players, like from the players' storylines.
Secondary characters getting a lot of good time.
Sam, I thought the Sam storyline was good this season. I'm glad he stayed.
Kent's got his thing.
I'm glad Sam stayed.
That was actually a hilarious scene.
Who was that? Who were we talking about before?
No, like, just like you get Sam, then you get like a little bit. You peel back Roy Kent a little bit. Like, you get a lot of a lot of backstory.
Like,
you Coach Beard, you get that random fucking episode. The psychiatrist, like, there's a lot of shit at play.
Right. The psychiatrist,
even Rebecca again has another layer.
I thought the psychiatrist was a really good touch for this season, because it almost, like, having the psychiatrist there gave us reasons to have more in-depth conversations in each episode about where they're at mentally. And like, it doesn't, that kind of stuff doesn't come up organically unless it's this way.
Exactly.
Like, you're not going to have Ted revealing his feelings to a player or to, Rebecca in the way that he did with the doctor. So having the doctor there, I thought was important to get, like, that part of Ted, to understand that part of Ted. And it's really interesting. I thought it was a really good. I don't know. I liked that Sam bought the stores for the Nigerian restaurant.
Right. Yeah, Sam's getting his bit of confidence
Right.
in, and it's.
Yeah.
I wonder where they go from here. I wonder what else they kind of like. I don't know if there's any other player you can kind of build up in the next season, or if they're just going to kind of go with the cast of characters they have. Maybe add a little something else to the Jamie Keely
I'm sure they
thing.
will. Maybe. Oh, so that's the other thing. So I don't know where that's going to leave off with Keely and Roy Kent. So you've got that scenario at the end there where Keely doesn't want to go to the 6-week vacation. Roy thinks they're breaking up.
I think he's right.
I think he's right as well. And
yeah, because there's that also that part where they're talking to the Diamond Dogs.
Yeah.
And it's like, yo, man, she's just so fucking good, like on her own. Like she can do whatever she needs. And I feel like, but it almost was gonna be like, I feel like I have to like let her go.
But a part
of
me thinks that this is being concocted in Roy's head,
right? So
not
Roy
in
might end up
Keely's
torpedoing it.
Like,
yeah, I think Roy will end up torpedoing it more.
I think
so
that this is
does.
Roy torpedoing, like you said, torpedoing the relationship because he thinks a certain way, thinks it's going a certain way when he's overthinking it or thinking about it in a way that is wrong, that Keely doesn't feel. Like, notice Keely at the end was like, bro, we're good. Like, I'm good.
Yeah, but
like, obviously, yes, like she's starting her new job, she's starting her new thing. Like, it's not. I just think that in this particular scenario, Roy might be overthinking something that could then ultimately be the actual reason why the breakup happens.
The catalyst that they break up. I agree with you on that.
I don't know.
I think, I mean, yes, this could be a case of the Ross and Rachels, but I also think this show that does such a good job of not being didactic and telling you about emotional things, but also kind of letting them play out and you can see them for yourself. Nate being a really good example of that. Rebecca in season 1 with her inability to let go of her resentments and anger. I think that there could be, of course, if Roy and Keely stay together, that'd be amazing. But I also think there's an opportunity to be honest about what happens when two people outgrow each other, even though they are both emotionally invested, but one has become aware that the other has outgrown.
Right, and that, no, but hold on. So
fair.
Don't get me wrong. I know what I was saying before, but like I don't necessarily. Me saying that doesn't mean that I think that they should stay together. I don't think that at all. I think that at this point for the show, we don't necessarily need to have Roy and Keely together as like this long-term thing. That like we got them for an entire season. It was a great love story, kind of, for a little bit.
It's cute, but yeah.
But it's not something that I need to happen.
Right.
It's just, this was just my opinion on how I think it's ending, and that it's not necessarily entirely because of Keely. I think that it's Roy doing this, and like you said, Gab, I agree. It's Roy thinking maybe like she's moving up, she's growing out of this.
Yeah, she's got no time for it.
And I'm just like, I'm in this bubble. Roy's in this little bubble of this team, and she's now out of it. She's not there anymore. She's going on, expanding. She's doing her own big thing, and he's realizing like shit, yeah. And when like he's expressing that when he sees her in the pictures, like, I'm not in any of these, and she looks awesome in these. Like, I don't need to be around. Granted, maybe Keely at this point doesn't.
Hold on, wait. Let me
go. I was say, I think that's helped cast a little doubt in his mind. Like, damn, does she really need me? And I again, like, I don't think Keely is thinking that way. But I think if Roy's just going to keep manufacturing this in the head, it's going to lead to something. Is it going to lead to a big, big fight, something that involves them breaking up or maybe thinking about taking a break that gets resolved? I don't know, but I wouldn't doubt that being the big punch of the season finale next year. I think they could almost kind of carry that for a whole season, 10 episodes, and then have it kind
of a back and forth.
Yeah, exactly. And then have it really come out as, like, I wouldn't mind a Roy Kent episode or a Keeley episode like they did a Coach Beard episode. Give us something like that. You can let us know what's going on in those characters' heads, how they conduct shit, especially if she's off doing her own thing and he's got to do something. Like, if it's one of the first couple episodes, if he actually goes on that, 6-week vacation, kind of see how that plays out.
I kind of wish he would do it, but I know he left the fucking tickets there. They're kind of showing that as a way of him not caring about it. But I kind of hope that he does do it, or at least go somewhere. But
yeah, I'm excited.
He is more cleaner.
He is. So,
sorry, Vigo, were you excited?
No, I'm just excited. I'm excited to see where it's gonna go. For a show that you thought you knew what you're gonna get, and then you got something else that actually was a pleasant surprise, and they're carrying around the same momentum. In my opinion, I'm excited to see where else they can go. And then the same token, this is a sports show. This is technically a show about a team, and that team it's a business. It's bringing money in. So as cool as Ted is, I gotta think that if this team's gonna keep floundering by season 4. You might have to have the conversation with Ted getting sacked. And that's another intriguing possibility to see how he handles that, where they go from that. Does Coach Beard get a promotion? A lot of things.
I'm interested to see that too, because you've got a team that now is back in the Premier League.
Mm-hmm.
So they're good enough to be back in the Premier League. But you're now losing Nate. And Nate is a big and was a big reason why they won a lot of games, or at least stayed competitive, because Nate knew what he was doing.
It was a football mind. Now it's okay.
So now you're losing the football mind. Roy is not necessarily that type of football mind. He's more of the he knows how to handle the players. Right. Because he was that, but to understand the tactics and formations, that's not Roy.
I think there's a lot of people are kind of over their. Well, not so much a lot of people, but I think Ted is over his head at that point. Coach Beard, I think Coach Beard could step up and be like, "Yeah, I know what I'm doing here." But at the end of the day,
so
you got the brains of the operation walked out. So they're either going to go two ways. They're either going to make them fucking awful. Or watch them be like, they have got Richmond has done it, 15 unanswered wins. I don't know.
But that's super interesting to find. I can't wait to find that out. So, scores for season 2. I think an 8 for me. Because I gave season 1 a 9.
I think we all gave it a pretty high 9. I think 10? So. I'm sticking with my 9. I'm gonna go for this one too.
Actually, no, I'm gonna go 9 because I think I gave the first season a 10.
It's got a lot of good drama.
It's a very good show, and I watched every episode, and I'm like, I can't wait to watch the next one. It's a good show that I'm interested in, and it gives me laughs, it gives me fucking emotional shit, it gives me everything. So. As long as they keep delivering on that, then I don't even care what happens to the storyline.
Exactly, yeah. Exactly. Just keep me entertained.
Okay, so we'll end with just a quick little recap, Gab, of Fandome. What were your thoughts?
Get the tea out, my friend.
You can't really. I mean, this is gonna take at least 15 minutes because you got to go through everything.
That's fine. I watched the first hour or two with you. I didn't really get anything out of it that I was whoa about.
Yeah. So same. I think so Fandome this year brought in 66 million viewers, so it got triple than what it did last year for the first one. So congratulations Fandome. Of course, I will give that credit to how good the first Fandome was and why that brought so many people in this time around. Because there were announcements last year, there was some like concept art, there was the Zack Snyder fucking trailer. And there was the first trailer for the Batman. This time around, it focused so heavily. I love both of you on your fucking cell phones while I'm talking about this.
Oh
shit.
no, I'm just trying to research Fandome. I just want to know what we're getting into.
You better watch yourselves. This is common culture. This is important. So this year focused a lot around the television aspect, and one, I don't think. Here's the thing. I came into this like I'm ready for some Aquaman footage. I'm ready for some Shazam footage. I'm ready. Flash footage. Okay. I'm ready for some Black Adam costume designs. Like I want
the potential for see some big stuff here.
There was, and they really just created these kind of behind the scenes snippets of the sets.
Trailers.
The closest thing you got to a real trailer was The Flash, which we saw him in the full suit, and you saw the tease for Michael Keaton's Batman. We saw the Black Adam kind of small teaser, which I was a little disappointed in because what I was really looking forward to was to see Dwayne Johnson head to toe, clear light, full image in the suit. That's what I really wanted to see.
The Rock,
and you got
like in the full suit, dude.
And you saw the silhouette of it and and using his power a little bit in that little mini teaser. But I also wanted to see the Hawkman suit. I wanted to see the Atom Smasher suit. I wanted to see the Dr. Fate suit. And none of that was there. And I'm like, this was the time to show it. There's not going to be another Fandome before your movie drops. So I feel like you could have at least showed the concept art for all of those people in their suits. It
just felt like, and I was telling you, Gabby, it just felt like they forgot that they had to do Fandome, and like all the movies that they have like in progress,
they're just unprepared.
They were just like, oh shit, Fandome is tomorrow. Oh shit, quick, pull up some of the footage that we have there. Throw some little edits around it, and let's send that in as like a preview. When it's like, come on, man, like
sounds like a dud, man. Sounds like a big dud.
It was, and then someone's phone is vibrating a lot on the desk.
Yo, mute the chat, bro.
Lord Christ. I also felt it focused a lot on like I said, on the TV aspect, because within the first 15 minutes we were done with the like Aquaman and Black Adam. In and out. They were done. I think we did get a look at Yahya Abdul-Mateen in his full new Black Manta costume, which is very comics accurate. Mm-hmm. So that's cool. But I have a theory here, and this is my ultimate takeaway from this year's DC Fandome. So, as of right now, we know that the Discovery-Warner merger will be done around the first half of 2022. It is in process. It's going through legal review, and it will become final.
And just a reminder, this is not Discovery the card. This is Discovery the channel.
Discovery Channel.
Discovery Channel. Discovery Channel and Warner Brothers Entertainment are merging together to become one company.
Okay.
I
know we've discussed this, but I forgot.
You forgot because you're So the movie we have we have films slated up until 2023, which is Shazam: Fury of the Gods. Okay. That is the last confirmed theatrical movie that we have on Warner Brothers slate. Next year, Black Adam will kick us off in July. The Flash will hit in November, and Aquaman will hit in December. So that's second half of the year. And those other two movies are the very fucking end of next year.
Right.
Which means there's a lot of breathing room for the official announcement of Zaslav's takeover. He is the current head of Discovery, and he will be the head of Warner Brothers. That's pretty much confirmed. And
This
with that,
Discovery is taking over just DC or Warner Brothers as well.
No. Warner Brothers is owned by AT&T. AT&T so Discovery bought shares in the Warner Brothers. So now Discovery and AT&T are and Warner Brothers
of Warner.
Not co-owners. They are now one entity under the umbrella of AT&T.
Okay, so AT&T is the big conglomerate that now owns
them.
All the Discovery shit and Warner Brothers and
now they are one entity.
Okay,
so that means that people are getting
so similar to Fox being bought out by Disney. Okay.
Not similar, the same thing.
Same.
But is Discovery really that big?
No, they only.
But I was gonna say, I was saying, like, I don't know if they're like I don't think they're like Disney big.
Discovery is not.
Like, they
Fox
do have,
big.
But they have like, if you look under the Discovery umbrella, I think it's Discovery TLC Food Network.
They do have a whole
Animal
bunch of,
Planet.
Yeah.
It's like that type of shit. The TLCs of the world. They got all that shit.
It's not as big of a media company as Fox was, but it is still a pretty big media company.
But they have some. But like, I don't know where this fits in with
to be
diners, dives, and drives. I don't know where this fits into that.
Why did they choose Discovery? Why did AT&T choose Discovery to merge with? Do we know that?
Because the theory is, this is not confirmed, but this is the theory. AT&T wants out of the entertainment business. They're like, we're not good at this. We are a telecommunications company. We are not an entertainment business. Our Warner Brothers choices obviously reflect that. So now that Discovery has bought some of the shares, meaning Discovery has taken away some of the debt that we took on to buy Warner Brothers. AT&T used billions to buy Warner. So Discovery bought some of that. So they've lost a couple millions off their debt. And they're like, okay, now we're creating this super package of Discovery properties and Warner Brothers properties, all merged into one.
That will be led by the guy who leads Discovery.
Let me finish. So yes, he will be the new head of this joined thing, but most likely what's going to happen is that AT&T is going to go, who the fuck wants this shit? Because I don't want it anymore. I merged it with these other bitches. You get to own all this shit. Who wants it? So they can sell it and go back to being just a telecommunications company. And hopefully...
So you think that AT&T will ultimately sell this big Discovery and WB entity?
Yes, and that could be Comcast, that could be Viacom. We don't know. Could be Apple. It could be Apple. I don't know.
They got cash. They got cash.
They got cash, but they don't have streaming clout. They don't fall under the top 5 streamers yet. But if
you know
they
what I
were,
mean,
and
it's clear that Apple is trying to get into the entertainment game with Apple TV, with the success of Ted Lasso type shows and morning show. So,
but they don't own any reputable IPs.
I understand that. That's why I think that if there's ever a moment to say, hey, we need something more reputable so that it can add into our quality entertainment, let's fucking buy this.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
The Apple TV app will fucking...
It's there for you.
Crank up. For you. Like, that would be sick. You know how many people watch TLC? Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives?
Yeah, man.
Fucking,
bro, begrudgingly, I watch TLC every Sunday. I got 90 Day Fiance. Shit, like that shit's fire.
That's the
theory.
That's the theory that's what AT&T wants to do.
Dude, I think they got Bravo too. Discovery.
I think they do.
Do you know how many people love Bravo? I love Bravo.
Yeah.
So at this point, for now, Zaslav will take over as head of the merged company, which means he has decisions to make. Who is he going to keep? Who is he going to get rid of? Jason Kilar most likely is getting voted the fuck off this island. Making the call for the same day release for HBO Max and theaters. He went on record in an interview saying, like, my bad, I take full responsibility for that poor choice. You're getting fired.
Yeah, he's gone.
He's definitely gone. He is the current head of HBO, and he personally oversees HBO Max. This brings me to my next point. HBO Max exists independent somewhat from the rest of the web under Warner Brothers Entertainment.
Okay.
The Ann Saronoffs, the Walter Hamadas, the I forgot that prick's name. They all Toby Emmerich, I think it's. I know the last name's Emmerich. God damn it. They all are under. They're a part of a more complex web in the Warner Brothers Entertainment thing. Kilar oversees HBO Max directly, and HBO Max is over here. It's its own thing. The movies that were confirmed at DC Fandome, Batgirl, Blue Beetle, and Static Shock are all going to be HBO Max originals.
So crappy quality, got it.
I wouldn't say that. I think that there's going to be. I would think that there would be proper investment for what they're going to ultimately put up there. Because it's, and then we know that the Black Canary script is being penned by the creator of We Love the Show and it only got one season on HBO. Don't be an idiot.
Love the Show.
Lovecraft Country.
Lovecraft Country. Lovecraft Country. The writer of Lovecraft Country is the one that was picked to pen the screenplay for the Black Canary movie, which will also be a HBO Max original.
I mean,
so what you see here is that there is this trend that the only things greenlit are these four HBO Max projects. There were 2 theater movies, The New Gods and The Trench, that were supposed to be theatrical releases. Those were canceled in April of this year, and then in May of this year, they announced that Discovery and Warner were merging, which means for what I observed, the company knew in April that this merger was going to happen.
That's why they canceled those 2 movies. Right. Okay.
Those 2 movies, because they cannot and will not that far into the future say what is going to be made and what is not going to be made. The only movie for theaters that we know for sure is happening is Wonder Woman 3. But why? It already has 2 movies under its belt that perform to standard.
And
Wonder Woman 1
it would be dumb.
I think a bit close to $1 million.
It would be dumb for them to just cancel 3 when they know for a fact that it's going to make money anyway.
It will make money. Yes. So, and that's it. So theaters.
So the only movies confirmed
is a little empty.
The only movies confirmed are the ones that we were already in line way before, that were basically already in production. And then the Wonder Woman 3, which has not gone to production, but we know is going to happen. Everything else that's going to be made is only for HBO Max originals, not theaters.
So everything else is off it, and everything else is off the shelf.
Gotcha.
Until the merger becomes
official, then maybe after that we'll start to hear, hey, we're gonna do this.
I can see Zaslav making announcements for projects maybe immediately when they
because they probably launch. There's no way they don't already have an idea of what they want to do.
They have you. I feel like you would have to. You
at
would
the
have
very
to have
least
something in
they
play.
They obviously can't announce it, but at the very least they know. All right, let's cancel these 2 movies. Let's let the merger happen.
Yeah,
and then in between all of this happening, there's definitely meetings happening and what the future is.
I've read some interviews. Yes, there are a lot of it. Yeah, I've read some interviews from Zaslav. He is already meeting with people in WB in multiple departments. There's stuff that he cannot see because the merger is not officially complete, and that's for internal view only. But he is having creative meetings. He knows that there is I mean, Nolan leaving WB is a thing. The actress who originally did the Batwoman series, Ruby Rose, went on record today to say about poor treatment on set. The poor set treatment on the CW shows is known.
has to do a ton of cleanup.
Yes,
and ground control, or whatever the fuck the term for it is, like damage control. Yeah, because their image is fucked right now. They're basically Fox, and right now Facebook, which is they're doing a big announcement next week to announce a parent company, and no longer it's going to be Facebook because they are doing damage control for Facebook.
They have to. They fucking have to.
So these are the things that these major companies, once the mudslide happens, it's like you don't have anything to do. You have to just let it all finish and then rebrand, basically. Not rebrand, but like
yes. But it is what they're doing.
Yes.
They're rebranding under a new title, and they're getting new management. I do think it's going to be a complete cleanup. Zaslav is an entertainment guy. You see he's so excited that like now he's not just doing like TLC shows. Like he's getting to.
I mean, bro,
he's getting to touch like Warner. Warner Brothers is one of the legendary studios. Like you got IPs, man. There's going to be an excitement.
And not only that, but like Discovery. Now that I like think about it, like there's a lot of Discovery has done very well for those. For if you're talking about a group of channels that are like, it started with the Discovery Channel. And it's become what it is. That's a really good job of like getting it to this point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's an example of what is inevitably going to happen to all of the streaming services that do not fall under the what I would consider like the P10. Mm-hmm. There are the 4 or 5 streaming services that have surpassed 10 million subscribers, and then there are 5 that have not broken that seal yet. Mm-hmm. Apple TV is one that has not broken it. Hulu has not broken it. I think your top contenders are Disney Plus, Netflix, and Amazon Prime.
There you go, Prime.
And the other 2 are Chinese.
So Discovery in 2017 merged with Scripps Network. So that's how they got. So Discovery was Discovery, TLC, OWN, Animal Planet, all the Discovery shit, and then they merged with Scripps, which added Food Network, DIY, travel, cooking, HGTV, all that shit.
So this is going to keep happening. More and more streaming services are going to fold and join under the umbrella of.
I mean, that's what happened with Paramount and Viacom. Viacom was like. Right. We need a thing. We don't want to have our own streaming service, so let's go with Paramount. Paramount now has all the Nickelodeon shit. They have all the MTV shit.
Yeah, MTV catalog. Yeah, NBC.
But this
I think. CBS.
Yeah, I think CBS, this is why I think this is why the eyes are on Viacom, Comcast, and Apple.
Yeah.
When it comes to this Warner Discover merger, because
not Viacom, but Paramount now. So it's...
But Viacom owns Paramount.
Oh, I thought it was Paramount owned, that Paramount merged with Viacom, and Paramount's like the main one.
Yeah, but the parent company is Viacom.
Okay. That makes more sense then. Okay, because...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Viacom is the parent company that owns that, and then Comcast has like some of those. So the thing is...
Who owns NBC?
Viacom...
Like the Peacock and all that shit.
Peacock is independent.
But so NBC doesn't.
NBC is its own entity.
They don't own anything. They're not part of. I thought NBC.
I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure they're independent. So the thing is that I'm pretty sure it's independent because there's this. I think it's a law that there are these specific prime like networks that by law cannot merge. So like I think it's like NBC, CBS, ABC. Those cannot merge together ever, so they cannot absorb each other.
Comcast owns NBC Universal, which is
okay.
Like that's Peacock.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're under that umbrella.
DreamWorks.
Okay. Right, but DreamWorks isn't. Yeah. So these So that's why it's important with this. So why Fox and Disney were able to merge is because Disney wasn't one of those parent companies. So that's fine. And that's why Discovery and Warner Brothers can merge. None of those other parent companies are involved. Now, that's what, but still, when it comes to Viacom and Comcast, they can still absorb the Warner Discovery merger because it does not violate this rule. And that would become the mega contender against the Netflix and Disney Goliaths. Because Disney is projected to maybe surpass Netflix in users in the next 5 to 10 years or something like that. So all of these other competitors, they're trying to gear up.
Too.
Right.
And it's still chief. Netflix is still king when it comes to the subscriptions. It has the advantage of time. Apple, I think if it really wants to contend, it does not have the clout yet. And God knows, like Ramel, you said, they have the money. I think they should make a very strong bid and case to take the Warner Brothers Discovery merger if it goes up for sale. It's just hard for me to believe
that Apple wouldn't at least think about that, doing that. They have trillions of dollars that they can spend. Like
because you also have to remember the big reason why AT&T did not want to greenlight more Zack Snyder projects besides the personal stuff is the cost of those movies and the fact that they are so in debt from buying Warner Brothers. This is why they hired Walter Hamada to be the creative lead on on DC Pictures, because he was known for making cheap thriller movies that made a profit. Yeah. So that's why he did Birds of Prey. That was low budget and it was supposed to turn around a profit. It really didn't. So I think the Hamadaverse, and again, I'm biased because I'm a Snyder head, but I just looking at the record, not really succeeding in his job.
Okay, so the top, let's say 10 entertainment companies that are in this discussion here. Comcast is number 1. Number 2, Walt Disney. 3 is Charter Communications, which owns Spectrum and does provide TV channels and all that shit. So that's a very large company. They're 3rd. So they could maybe be in play here. Then you've got Viacom, and then you've got some other French company. Then Netflix is 6. Dish Network is 9. So,
but then my curiosity becomes, how does that factor in when you consider numbers of subscribers to streaming platforms? Because that's I understand the ultimate game is subscriptions, and in that Netflix is number 1. So I'm curious to see. Ultimately, I'll say it here on the pod, it could be my hope, but I really, really do believe, after watching Fandome, after watching certain headlines and following certain things, Snyderverse is getting restored. I'm just
think so.
I don't think so. I really do think I know so, because I'll put my neck on the line on this podcast to say
I'll make sure to put that in the episode description.
Put that in big bold
writing.
I'll
put it in episode description. Prediction.
Look, I just think if Warner paid to promote all of their fandom hashtags on Saturday, yet with no monetary promotion, Restore the Snyderverse made 390,000 tweets, just as a community organized thing. It broke records in March for the most tweeted about movie ever. If Zaslav really is a creative guy, there's no doubt that there was buzz around the project with no help from the studio. The studio would not. The only place Snyder promoted his cut of Justice League was with YouTubers and independent people.
Any marketing at all for HBO Max?
None. Zero. And none of the talent participated in any
obviously
of the marketing.
Word of mouth is how regular people saw it. So and the regular people,
so imagine
it, even though it was 4 hours,
loved it. That's I think the biggest thing. This is a 4-hour movie that somehow pulled it off, and I think I really think Zaslav is going to be behind that. If not for just Snyder, it's the fact that you don't contend with Marvel if you don't have the interconnected universe element. You just don't. The Eternals is creating so much buzz because there's high expectation that this will provide a lot of information about the broader MCU. And that's what people are most thirsty for.
And so you don't have to necessarily, if you're DC, you don't have to necessarily do exactly what Marvel does, but at the very least, organize it. At the very least, it doesn't have to be a perfect timeline where every movie jumps from one to the other, but at the very least have one consistent route, and then you can have little like jumps. You know what I mean? But ultimately, at least give us something that's consistent.
I'll close with these informations as to why I'm very confident in my statement. The Batgirl movie, there's curiosity of what universe does this Batgirl exist in. J.K. Simmons is confirmed as Commissioner Gordon for the Batgirl movie. J.K. Simmons was Commissioner Gordon in what movie? Zack Snyder's Justice League. Batman is confirmed for the Batgirl movie. Who the fuck Batman are you gonna put in the Batgirl movie with J.K. Simmons in it that isn't Ben Affleck? That makes if it's anyone else besides Ben Affleck, then as Obi-Wan Kenobi said to a corrupt Anakin Skywalker, you really are lost.
Right.
Like that makes no sense other than you're just petty and bitchy. So also in the script that Ben Affleck wrote for the Batman movie, Batgirl was a prominent character in that story. And with the fight against Deathstroke to be like the thriller horror movie that they're making. That's one. And two, if Fico's looking at his watch, I swear to God, I'm almost done.
No, good. Alerts.
And two, Dwayne The Rock Johnson's production company or agency also represents Henry Cavill. Henry Cavill's agent is his ex-wife. It's also Dwayne The Rock Johnson's ex-wife.
It's a lot of intermingling there.
There's co-business friendships there. You're telling me that Dwayne The Rock Johnson, his main wish, and he keeps saying it every chance he gets, that Black Adam would beat the shit out of Superman. When he gets a chance to fight Superman, you think he's going to do whatever chomp that Warner Brothers presents, or he's going to fight for the guy that his company represents to be the Superman he fights?
Makes sense.
Henry Cavill is Superman. The end. Goodbye.
Yeah, at the very least,
Wonder Woman's not fired. Aquaman's not fired.
At the very least, just fucking finish this. Just end this just end this godforsaken thing.
I would agree. Like, a part of me is also like, my fandom for it also comes from the annoyance of this is so simple. Just make the goddamn movie, and we can all move on.
Right. Exactly.
And
just
we
give
can
the
all
fans
move
what they
on.
want. Give the fans what they want.
And everyone's like, no, we want to erase the Snyderverse.
No.
You're using Aquaman and The Flash that are from his movie, and you greenlit Wonder Woman 3. That's from his movie. There's nothing in your slate that contradicts that. And The Flash comes out next November, at the end of 2022. If there is anything in that movie to restart the DCEU, it's well after the merger is complete and Zaslav has made decisions, which is why I also...
That's probably why they don't have a trailer yet.
Maybe... well, they just finished filming, but I also think that maybe there are alternative endings to that movie that have been shot. I wouldn't be surprised if there's some alternative endings. Okay. Because whether they said it or not at Fandome, all signs point to things are halted creatively.
Yeah.
The only things that are getting greenlit here are HBO Max originals. There's nothing else really planned for the theatrical stuff. And I think it's when Zaslav takes over and he announced that the Snyderverse is restored. And I'll end my spiel there. Fuck Fandom, it was really bad.
All right, boys. Good job today. Next week, episode 100. We goddamn fucking did it. So
absolutely
we will
absolutely amazing.
Figure out what we want to do for that episode and know it's going to be very spooky.
Join us next week for... Oh, that sounds porno. Stop. Join us for the 100th episode where we review the Human Centipede because that's about 100. Oh God, this isn't anything because that's about 100 legs. 100 pieds, 100 legs, 100 episodes. Let's talk about getting shit in your mouth. Let's do it. Human Centipede, guys.
Okay. We'll think about it.
Spooky.
I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm out.
All right. Peace out, y'alls. Catch you next week.
Later.
Peace.